Hi everybody. It's been a hot minute. um, so 2016, yet another year is winding up. Another chapter is getting ready to close, and so figured I'd do a Johnny webcam. Um, and I'll start off with what I have planned musically and artistically for the rest of this year, and then for 2017. And then after that, we'll just go into some reflecting time for any of those few fans that like to listen to me ramble on and on about shit. So let's see. That's 2016. The year started with the first project was my Full Circle album, but in the beginnings of making that, beginning that production, there was a possibility that I might have had cancer, and but the issues that could have caused that cancer, I nipped those in the bud, and I didn't actually go to a doctor to get checked, but I don't have cancer, so I took care of the problem. I still need to go get a checkup though, and I will before too long. But I had that on my head, weighing on my head. I had in health insurance issues, but I got those resolved pretty quickly. Maybe going through those again, so I'm going through a change, but whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then I began work on Full Circle. I was hoping to have it done by like January, because I started working on it in December of last year. But with all the heavy things that the year started with in my personal life, took me a while. It wasn't released until May, I think, and and I had so many technical issues with that record. But all in all, it turned out great, and it's not one of my favorite albums, but I do love it. I have massive affection, for everything that I do, and different feelings about each one. And it had how many tracks did it have? It had 12 tracks, I think. Anyway, it was a lot. The last two albums I had done, Flowerhead and Full Circle, had a lot of tracks on them, so it was a lot of work, a lot of technical issues to get through, which I've learned per each album what to do and what not to do with my equipment. But, I was really, really happy with the videos from that album, the music videos, and, that was that. Then as the summer rolled around, I wasn't going to do any more albums, but then Prince died, and so I was inspired again to do another record. I wasn't going to do any more albums because hardly anybody listens to them. I have some fans out there, and some people that support me in my personal life, but they're like I've said before, it's all so much work that I do for free, and even though it does satisfy personal need artistically, it's like, well, I got to find something else to do because it's just too hard, it's too time consuming, and too stressful because I'm a perfectionist. But Prince died and I got inspired, so that began the album Whisper Angel, which ended up being my best work of everything. And but it took me forever to get that record done. I wanted to take my time on it and not rush, and I only had 9 tracks plus a bonus track that was not meant to be on there. But less tracks on an album, and the track's a little bit longer, I could spend more time on each one and not get overwhelmed. And there was a few technical glitches here and there, but Whisper Angel was a great, great record. I'm very proud of it, of how that turned out, and the videos too, the best I've ever done. But throughout making that record, my friend Lonnie died. I haven't seen him in a couple decades, really, decade at least, but he was a strength to me. He died, and then our yard cat, who I was very attached to, died, and then the one love of my life, Brian, he died. And 50 some odd years old he was, and that just really threw me for a loop. But, you know, we hadn't been together since 1997, but we'd seen each other, been together a couple of times and whatever, and kept in touch all those years after, up until 2013, and then we kind of lost touch. But I just couldn't believe it. It was tough. So, you know, personal loss and whatever, I guess, but, and learning from it. But anyway, and then on top of all that, the neighborhood that I live in with my family home where I live just turned into the absolute biggest ghetto it's ever been here. It was, you know, getting to the point of being dangerous. So me and my family and all the surrounding neighbors and businesses, you know, got together with the city and said, this shit ain't gonna fly. And the police department and the mayor and the city and all of us really stepped it up. And the neighborhood has been better than it's ever been. So that's wonderful. But it was tough this summer. You know, it was creating a lot of depression for me and my family. It was like, you know, what are we going to do? But, you know, that was all the stuff that happened this year. And then I finished Whisper Angel. And I wasn't going to do any more albums. And then I was like, okay, let's do one more. I did 3 last year. Let's do 3 full LPs this year. So I began work on my 6th full studio album called, here's the cover, called Soft. And all the primary music is finished for this record. And 80% of the lyrics are written, 85%. But I took a break. I was like, oh, I'm burnt out, I'm tired. And, you know, so I sometimes I got to take a break, because if I don't, then it gets frustrating and then I fuck up the music. But I took a break. I, you know, had my my checkup appointment at my doctor, and everything is good and on track. And it's just so weird because I've outlived so many people that I shouldn't have. You know, it must be a reason, huh? But, you know, so now that that's over and I don't have to go back for 4 months, we have the rest of this year. I have the rest of this year to concentrate on other things. So I took a recent trip to Chicago, too, for a day. It was good to get, I adore Chicago. And it was good to be able to get away and get away from myself, kind of, in a way, and be there and see things. But maybe think about the state of the world, too, which I'll get to later. But, this is going to be a long video, by the way, just so you know. But, yeah, I took a break, and now, starting Tuesday of next week, I'm going to get back to work on this album. I would like to maybe have it finished by Thanksgiving time, but it's probably not going to be till the early December. So, anyway, and the article's written about it. That's been published. The photo shoot, Rainbow Soft photo shoot's been finished, and that's been published. And the next things to be released while I'm working on the album is the promo video. I've got some ideas for that. And that'll probably be released about mid-November. And then the first instrumental version, which I have a little work to do on, will be Lonnie Lou single. Instrumental version will be the first release from that album before the album's done. And then hopefully the album will be done by around the 1st of December. And then I'm going to do videos for the singles Lonnie Lou first, Rider, and then Blue. I think that's only, I'm going to do 3 music videos, and it'll be for those singles. And then that'll be it for this year. All of that will be complete by around Christmas time. And then I'll enjoy the holidays, and if the world is still functioning like it is now, you know, normally. But my ideas for art next year, I wasn't going to do any more albums, but I want to do one more to start 2017. It's going to be primarily all jazz music. I want to do something different because I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself a little bit. I want to do something really different, and I love jazz, and there's a lot of jazz loops on my software, and I'm like, well, let's do kind of a jazz album, and I think it's going to be called Trollop, a semi-jazz album. I think it's going to be the title, but anyway, that won't be until early next year, and then after that, there won't be quite as much. I'm going to try to make it that is all the videos and everything as simple as possible, and because the other projects I want to start painting again, so I'm going to do that, and I have a special page made for that, and I also want to do Johnny poems, which I've talked about many times before, for almost over a year now, which would be, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, simple little music things. I may even make its own YouTube channel. I haven't decided yet. It may just be a playlist, but I want to play with that. So that's my ideas for art next year. Now, as far as the world goes, well, if it all goes tits up, then I won't be doing any of that because there probably won't be any more electricity or internet or God only knows. And I'm not going to go into all of that. I've sang about all of it before. I'm done trying to wake people up. And I mean, really, I'm a smoke. Who knows what the truth is and what's not? It's like, it's 100% impossible to find 100% truth anymore, because there's just so much chaos, there's so many lies, there's so much disinformation, and so many people trying to put out real information. Who knows if it's true or not? People seem to be living in a dream world, of this American dream and thinking everything's just fine. I mean, the planet itself is deteriorating rapidly. All you have to do is look at everything that's dying as far as wildlife and trees, and the 400 parts per million now of carbon dioxide, which is the point of no return, and it's like, so that in itself, it's like, well, and then this fucking election coming up, I mean, it's such an embarrassment. And if you want to think that Hillary Clinton is a saint, well, you just go right ahead, I guess. Nothing I can do to stop you. I mean, that's just blind worship as far as I'm concerned. And Trump, well, I mean, who knows if he just was put in there as a distraction or whatever, but it's a joke. All of it is. And the election's coming up real soon. In like a week, I guess? What the hell's the election? But who knows what's going to happen up until then and what's going to happen right after then. And all of this shit with Russia, which I think a lot of it's contrived bullshit, but, the world's very volatile right now. It's important to, it's more important now than ever, I think, for every single human being to really look deep inside and figure out what's the most important in life, which to me, that's, trying to be as good as a person as possible, to have good karma, so I don't have to come back and do this again. To learn as many lessons as possible, and to love and try to be as understanding as possible, which is very difficult, but I work on it every day. I do. I'm a lot different. I was not the most fucked up human being in the world when I was younger, but, I had my issues, and I fucked up a lot, and I pay for that to this day, but, I learned from all of my mistakes. I really feel that I have. I have some strained relationships with people, but, I try to do the best I can with those. And, just and appreciating the little things and the blessings, amongst all of this chaos and terribleness. But, with all these deaths this year and in the recent years, it's like every one of them makes me think, and concentrate on all that just a little bit more. Because, I could die tomorrow, I could die tonight. You just never know. And as far as the world is concerned, well, it's not going to get any better, obviously. And, I feel bad for people that have had, that I love, and friends that have young children who are just wonderful, that don't have a chance to have any kind of, have a lot of the things in life that we did, that are in our 40s and 50s when we were young and took for granted. But, the world is going to shit. It isn't just me. I'm a very perceptive person, and that's not me being arrogant. I mean, I've always been that way. Been sensitive to things. I mean, that's been part of why I'm an artist, I think. But, it's not going to get any better from what I see. And so, it's important to get those personal, to look inside yourself and figure out what's most important, basically. And so, I just don't really have anything else to say about it, I guess. I'm just watching it all go to shit daily, and try to figure out what's at least closest to the truth, and what's just blatant lies. And it's clear that more now than ever, I mean, since the Industrial Revolution, and maybe to a certain extent always, I don't know, but it's gotten more and more about greed and possessions, money and power. Everything's about fucking money. I mean, it's more important than human life, It's just ridiculous. And, I don't know. It's worn me out, and I'm tired from the world. And thank God for my art, because that has saved me from massive depression and giving up so many times in the last, 3 years that I've been doing music and stuff. And 2 years under John Sona, and a year and a half bypass ratio and all that stuff. But, so, the election's coming up. Who knows what's going to happen? A lot of fucked up things have been happening with, Russia, obviously, and Syria and all that stuff, and all that shit that's going on. And, we had that big internet outage recently. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe, half of the stuff that's being told in the mainstream media about what's going on. So, yeah, it's just, election's coming up, so who knows what's going to happen. If everything is still functioning relatively normal, life as we've known it, as far as electricity and internet and all that stuff, then I will, continue on with those projects for my music and stuff. And then if it does go tits up for some reason in the next, few months, then I guess we'll be, me and my family will be hunting for raccoons to eat and, making our peace, because we probably won't survive that long. I mean, if we don't have electricity and functioning everything like it is. And who knows, maybe that won't happen. You just never know. But anyway, so it was interesting when I was in Chicago, though, because it's just I love that city, and I think, God, there's some way, but I have no desire to live in a big city like that. I mean, if I was to live anywhere other than here in the Midwest with my family, I'd probably would live in the Pacific Northwest, although they're massively overdue for horrible earthquakes. But so we are here too, so whatever. But it's like the big city life is not for me to live in. It's just, but I love to visit there. But it was interesting. I was in awe like I always am. Not like I was when I was younger, though. It's weird how when you get older, maybe it's just me. I just don't get quite as excited about things as I used to. But it was just like, oh, I just love it here. And the people were so nice. I'm sure Chicago has its share of assholes too. But it was so different from where I live as far as people in general. But I have people I love here too. And friends and stuff. It's a whole other world. But I was just looking around at all the wonderment and wonderfulness and museums we went to and the little bar we went to and people walking around and the beauty of the buildings and Lake Michigan and all that. And I was just made me sad too, because it's like, it's just not what it used to be, and it's all going downhill. It made me sad. But I don't know. It is what it is, right? So, anyway, that was 2016. That's my plans for beginnings of 2017. And also my heart goes out to Italy. My cousin lives in Italy. She's felt all the earthquakes, although she wasn't close to the epicenter. So, she wasn't in too much danger. But who knows what's going to happen with those faults, with everything going on around there. I worry about her. But my heart goes out to all the people that are suffering there because of the earthquakes, and all the people suffering everywhere for whatever reason. It's like I generally just hate people in general. How many times did I say general? But at the same time, I'm just so disgusted with people. I'm so disappointed. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want people to be miserable and suffer. But I mean, so many people are lost now, and so many people are brainwashed now, and I don't know. It's just fucked up. But we live in interesting times, and so just roll with the punches and go with the flow, I guess, and figure out how to survive until we can't anymore, or until it's our time to go. And that's what I'm doing. So. I do think I get frustrated with God, but I do thank for my blessings, and for protecting me and my family, and for I take my own responsibility for how well my health has turned out, because I've been very diligent about that as far as medicine and stuff. But I feel very lucky because so many people I've known and loved are dead now. And it's just, and way before they should have been, really. I mean, young, whatever, but I'm thankful that I'm still alive and still able to function, even though I get more tired than I used to because I'm getting older. But turning 43 in December, so to a lot of people, I'm too old and washed up to do music, but fuck you, I'm still going to do it. And, so anyway, I won't ramble on too much anymore. That's my plans musically and artistically. And, my view of the world. So everybody watch their back and be careful, because we live in crazy times, and love each other and take care of each other. And get your shit right with yourself, because you never know when it's your last day. And whatever you believe, it's like, it's better to go out good than bad, I think. So, I haven't really posted anything on any of my pages because I've been working on anything. I took a break, but as things get finished, like Lonnie Lou instrumental and the promo video and stuff like that, then I will post them as long as the internet's still functioning. And peace, love, and light, and be watching for new stuff coming out here in about a month or so. All right. Love y'all. Bye-bye.